about it after a little bit.
Yeah.
Think about it a little bit.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my show. And let me introduce this absolutely fascinating man, Agustín Fernández Santana III. Wow, who has a name like that?
Yeah, no, Agustín, just Agustín, it's good.
Gus? So he is a former US Marine, an award-winning filmmaker, a scientist. Actually, he has a PhD in biology. And he, because of all this broad things that he's done in his life, he brings the storytelling, public health, and work, all these bridges together. So, welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you're here because you're just someone super interesting to me, and I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me. This is great.
Absolutely. And we will be making a Paella Negra, which I've never made before, by the way. I've made a lot of different paellas, but I've never made that one. So why did we choose that paella?
This is, well, I don't know if it was my grandmother's favorite, but it was my favorite, so she made it for me.
That she made for you?
Yes,
Okay,
and she acted like it was her favorite because she did everything with a lot of love. You know, there's a lot of paellas done in Spain. This one's kind of special, right? It's a very specific flavor, and I like the color. It's kind of falls outside. So
beautiful squid ink here happening, and all the ingredients are laid out here, and you guys have the QR code to the recipe. So before we start that, I want to welcome you with my champagne, so we could relax a little bit, right? Yes. Let's do this. It's my tradition on this show that I subrush some champagne and we begin our fun together. So let's do this quickly. And
do we get just one glass, or can we continue?
You can get as many glasses as you wish. So, Agustín, you were born in Cuba, right?
Cuba.
Yes, and but then you were super young when you immigrated to Spain.
Spain. Yeah, we left Cuba, went to Spain for a couple of years, then to New York after that.
And to New York. How old were you when you came to New York?
About 12.
12.
Yeah.
Super young. Actually, yeah, my son was 10 when I brought him to New York as well. Something fun. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Don't be scared.
Well, the knife's pointed at me.
That's how it usually goes, but
oh,
that's it. Quick and easy. That's a little surprise for you here.
I love it.
That's a fun part. So let's cheer to you and to your fascinating experiences in life that we will be talking about.
To this amazing kitchen and to inviting me. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. So I'm just gonna start cooking so you guys can see what we're doing. I have this beautiful paella pan. So basically, you know, you get paellas size-wise for 4, for 6. I think this one is probably for 4 or for 6.
Yeah.
So we will start sauteing the onions and garlic. No, I'm lying. we're gonna cook up the squid first and the bodies. We're gonna cut it and then saute it quickly and then remove it and then add the rest of the onions and garlic, okay? So I'm gonna do that first. So Agustín, how did this even happen that you went from movies to science to being a Marine that you served in Afghanistan, correct?
No, Iraq.
Iraq, I'm sorry. Yes, how did that all happen? Like, I cannot wrap my mind around this.
Yeah, I get that question a lot, and for me, it's just been linear. You know, it kind of just happens. The Marines, I was just a young man, and I think being an immigrant, we grew up with this feeling of, you know, really wanting to give back to the country.
Absolutely,
you know?
Yeah.
And my brother was a Marine also, you know. So I think for us, it was important to sort of give back to the country that adopted us. And I picked the Marines, I think, because it was the hardest. I thought it was the hardest, and it was great.
You like the challenges, I could see.
Yeah, it was really formative, and it's a small group, and once a Marine, always a Marine, you know. So.
Insane. How long were you
I did one tour. I did 4 years.
4 years. Wow, it's a long time. You were very young.
Yeah.
So actually, I watched the movie, the documentary,
The documentary.
the documentary, The Lady in Number 6, and I want to tell you that I was absolutely blown away, and I was crying, I was smiling, I had chills, I had gratitude, I had so many emotions that were happening to me in the moment. And I just was stunned about this wonderful lady who went through such difficult life. She's a Holocaust survivor, and she lived till 109. And her attitude, what impressed me the most. And
Yeah.
I just want to encourage you all, please watch this documentary, because it's nothing that you've ever seen. It is something so deeply touching and so special. All your worries and concerns will go away instantly, and you will have absolutely different perspective on life and appreciation for life. And that's what this movie gave me, more and more of that. And this is very, very special. And before I ask you another question, I have a little present for you that also gave me a little impact like that in my life. This book by Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. I don't know if you read it,
Wow.
but I would like you to read it. It's also about the Holocaust survivor, and it shows us that people who are happiest and live the longest are the ones who have a positive attitude for life. They always find this inner strength and happiness and resilience, and that is something so special. So
Thank you for getting that. Thank you for this gift. I will definitely read it.
you haven't read it?
No, I have
Yay!
not.
That makes me
Amazing.
happy.
Thank you. And you're right. I mean, that's why that picture was special to us, you know. It's
And did you meet Alice?
yeah, of course.
You
Yeah.
have.
And yeah.
How was that experience for you when you met her and when you had that movie made? Like, how was that? It was so, to me, was surreal, and this couple of other ladies that were also so special. I just was so blown away. How did you find her, and how did you even decide to make this?
No, my partner brought us the project. I have a really great partner, Phil Goldfine. And, you know, we make a lot of movies, and I love them all. Some of them I'm more proud than others, and a lot of them are a lot of fun. This one just felt special, right? It just felt special. And even, you know, you're talking about the bridging and changing. It's all the same now, all the way from making films or just growing up in New York to working on what everybody's working on now. How do we get a healthier lifespan, right?
Yes.
And the one common denominator for all the people who live long, healthy lives, adding to healthy diet, this is very important, but the one common denominator is sort of this joy for life, this appreciation for life, and staying involved with your community and being grateful, right? Having gratitude.
And
that's what Alice did, you know?
That's what Alice did, and that's what you do. I love that you're also supporting local artists that, you know, there are so many talented artists, but you supporting them because Agustín has actually an art gallery that he created and built in the church. And it is so special. I've never seen anything like this. There's a tree in the gallery as well. And it just makes me so happy that you, such a generous, giving soul, that you want to share what you have and want to share the talents, to bring their talents for people to see and for the world to know. And it's so
You know,
wonderful. It's something very, very special.
the secret is that it's not really generosity. No, it looks like generosity, but it's not. The secret is that they give me back so much more, you know?
Aww.
Like, I really do it. It fills me. It keeps me going. It keeps me exciting. It keeps me young. Keeps me healthy. All those artists that we help, they help me right back.
It's very, very
they make my life
special.
They're more enriched, you know?
I like that. I like that because it's all about connecting with people, with each other, and bringing out the best of each other. And that is one hell of a way to do it.
It's fun, for sure. Well, I mean, this is sort of similar, right? You're cooking, and you're doing it for everybody around you. You're affecting everybody with your gifts, but I'm sure it fills you up too.
Thank you. Yes, I love what I do, and it is definitely something that brings us all together and makes us happier. And this is probably the instant way of making people feeling being taken care of, right?
Yeah.
This is
For sure.
This is probably it for me.
This is the deepest. I just read a study. One of my scientists sent me a study. So, and I can't quote who published it, but it's a published study. And it said if you eat healthy omega-3s, eat healthy food, take the right vitamins like vitamin D, and stay active, exercise 3 times a week, then you can reverse biological aging. And I replied, I said, gosh, my grandparents were like the best longevity experts ever. That's what you do. You eat healthy food, you interact with the people you love.
Oh, yes,
you stay
absolutely.
active.
And that's why our grandparents' generation, I feel like they lived so much longer and healthy, very healthy life, because all they did is just cared about other people and brought so much and worked so hard physically as well, because the garden and all of this, that they kept going. And your grandmother, so you was born in Cuba, let's go back to this, and then you went back to Spain, and you, so is your grandmother from Spain?
Both of my families, they come from Spain. Yeah.
Okay.
But they were Cuban, they were in Cuba, so. And we had
That's awesome combination.
Awesome. Cuba was a difficult place to grow up, but
of course,
the strength of family gets you through anything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how did you get into the viruses? That is something super interesting. All the vaccines, you have a company that is called Rational Vaccines, right? That you run, and so how did you get into that? What like derouted you from making movies? And you used to act as well?
I did some acting at the beginning. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Paid the bills with that for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, I had a background in biology. I'm a molecular biologist by training anyway. I think science is really creative. Like, I am not...
That's an interesting thing to say. Science is very creative, because we think... I love this line. Because we think science is more about...
rigidity.
Yeah, but it is creative.
It really isn't. Like, the best scientists, and I am very lucky to interact with some of the best in the world. Much more talented than I am and smarter than I am. But really, at its core, science is someone who has a vision of sort of the biological system, has an idea. They imagine that something works in a way that it does. So they come up with this hypothesis. And then they do all these rigid experiments to try to prove themselves wrong, right?
Right.
And if they can't prove their ideas wrong, then they have a theory. They've done these experiments that supports this idea. But it all starts with imagining it, Sitting around and saying, hey, I think the Earth is round, or I think,
those things are very fascinating.
Cells communicate through extracellular vesicles, or most of the great scientists see things that other people can't see. I heard a quote that was really cool. It says, talent is being able to hit a target that nobody else can hit, but genius is being able to see a target, hit a target that nobody else can see.
Wow.
And so the really amazing scientists I work with, they see things, they imagine. They're not always right, but they imagine these incredible things that could be possible. Then they do years of experiments to try to see if what they thought was true is true. And it's kind of incredible when sometimes they're right, and a lot of times they are right,
It's so interesting.
So it's super, super creative. Before you get into the rigorous work, you have to have a vision.
So your degree brought you to the interest in that industry, and then you got deeper into virology, and you are working on herpes?
Yeah, herpes vaccine. Because I looked at it, and I think what a lot of people don't realize, and it's in the news all the time now, when they say the word vaccine, they think it's one class of products, and I don't think most people, not that they should, realize that it's really 4 or 5 different technologies, very different technologies.
I think most people have no idea what vaccine really is, and it makes sense because you have to really be interested.
Yeah,
so
it's
can you tell us a little bit deeper so we can understand, because we have so many questions about vaccines, right? Mm-hmm. It's a controversial, of course, subject.
And it shouldn't be, but it is, because I think it hasn't been explained correctly, and that's why it's controversial. So, and the key thing to remember is that it's really 4 different types of products. Traditionally, a vaccine is really about public health. It's not about your personal health only.
course.
Right? It's a product that's able to prevent infection and prevent transmission. So you keep your community safe when you have a true vaccine, what we call true vaccines, that actually gives you neutralizing immunity and prevents you from transmitting it. The virus stops with you. You can eradicate smallpox with a smallpox vaccine, right? Smallpox doesn't exist or nearly doesn't. You can eradicate polio, measles, things like this. And I think by mistake, we've expanded that definition to mean products that maybe help you get less sick or prevent disease but don't prevent transmission. And those things are potentially very important public health tools also. But if they don't prevent transmission, then they help the individual, but they don't keep your neighbor safe, right?
Absolutely.
And I think each class of product that are immunomodulators that we now call vaccines should be better classified so the public can understand and doctors can understand. And do you really have to give this product that maybe helps you get less sick before you go to work if it doesn't protect your neighbor and it doesn't protect you from infection? You see?
That brings me to a question. Do you believe that we should be mandated to get vaccines, or we should have a choice?
I have a very specific belief in this. It's going to take up the whole show, so I won't go too far.
But just tell us a little bit of
I think you should always have a choice. And if I'm going to make an error, I like to err on the side of freedom. I do see a case for when you could recommend the mandating a vaccine for public places if it prevents transmission and it prevents infection. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. If you really get protection from this product where you will not get infected, right? And also you're keeping me from getting infected, I can see an employer saying, please take this, or the military or a school. But we now have, over 70 vaccines, and not all of them do that. And even some of them that are really good at potentially preventing you from getting disease don't protect your neighbor. And I don't think there's a case for mandating a product that doesn't keep the promise that vaccines originally made. So again, if you understand that they're different products, you can't just throw everything in there. You can say, anything that modulates your immune system is a vaccine. It's not, right? Do you understand? So
yeah, I understand. And I've been through a difficulty with my daughter, and when you are a mother and you have a newborn child, it's always a question that is bugging you, that you want to make the right choice for your child, And it's a difficult subject, and you really have to understand deeper. And but also we are pressured by all the legal.
And you shouldn't be pressured, and
right.
It should be better explained. I think it's incumbent on public health officials to really explain it to the physicians and to the public better, so that you can make those decisions. And I guess controversially, and all my colleagues will be mad, I think probably 75% of all vaccines that are now strongly recommended should be explained better. So I think for a very small percentage of them, there's grounds for wanting everyone in your environment to take them, but for the majority of them, probably not.
I agree.
That's the
Who is
truth.
your favorite scientist? On that note.
Oh, geez, I don't think I have a favorite scientist. I have a favorite subject.
Subject in science. Okay, that's a good one.
And then I think a lot of different scientists make contributions to it at any given time. And like movies, we're talking about bridging. So you love that documentary, and you're like, Agustín, this movie you made, but I didn't make that movie by myself.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like 100 people working on it, and my partner brought it to me, and the director was amazing, and the other producer, and it really is a collaborative effort. And I think with science, it's the same thing. So like, someone will think of something, it's iterative, somebody else adds to it, and if you can have a sort of open information flow, and everybody can, without ego, listen to each other's idea, the subject becomes amazing more than the individual,
I agree with that. And one of the things that Alice said, the lady that this movie is about, that really was so interesting, that she said, the most important life lesson is not the school, it's intellectual atmosphere of your parents' home.
That's
who
true.
You
so true.
are surrounded by,
yeah.
and who are the people you are learning from. And it's so true, and it really touched me so deeply that I wrote down that phrase, the intellectual atmosphere. And I wish to all the kids to have that in their life, which is not the case,
everything.
but
it's the most important thing.
I want to interrupt us here for a minute. So I want to quickly say that I sauteed first the squid, right? I took it out very quickly for 30 seconds until it turns white a little bit, but make sure not to overcook it. Then I added the onions, some avocado oil, onions, garlic, and then tomatoes, and of course some chilies. Now, when you could see it's very already kind of like caramelized and saucy. I'm gonna add our rice, and I also added some sweet paprika, or I have Aleppo pepper here as well. So we're gonna do our bomba rice, arrozo. So basically a short grain white rice that is used for paella. And what's important about the proper paella is to make a thin layer. When you make a very thick layer, it's not the proper way, because you want the rice to be really kind of creamy but crunchy on the bottom. And if you make a very thick layer, it's hard to achieve. So control your rice. In this case, we have kind of 2 cups or a little less.
I didn't know that part.
Yeah, when you make, sometimes actually, I haven't had a good luck with a good paella in Spain, because I didn't go to maybe proper place, and it was just, a very thick, overcooked rice with no flavor. And that is why we have here this type of pan. We're gonna deglaze the pan with champagne, usually white wine, but who cares? We got champagne going on here, it's even better. So we're gonna do that, and then we will add, I have here saffron that has been soaked in hot water to extract the flavor. I prefer to remove the threads because they are too medicinally for me. So we're just gonna add that beautiful saffron broth into our paella. And I have this
this looks good.
Beautiful saffron from my friends Jimmy and Fauza from Egypt. I got this, and it's really high quality one. So we're gonna mix it and then add some salt, but not too much, because we want to make sure with all the seafood it's not going to be overly salty, right? And we have our chicken stock here. You could use any kind of stock, guys, that you like. You could do vegetable, fish, chicken, but I have the chicken. So we're gonna add the stock and transfer this. Oh, by the way, the most important part is gonna happen now. We're gonna add our squid ink.
Yes.
So look at this color now, memorize it. It's going to change quickly. It's so interesting what happens to it. It's insane.
That's what I like about it. A lot of people don't even, when they see
magic.
black, they don't let it come through their eyes, but then when you taste it,
it's so good.
It's incredible.
So let me just add a couple of more spoons here. So we have our beautiful squid ink, and look what happens. The magic happens now. This is so fun. That's what I love about cooking, the transformation of your dishes, of your mood, of your environment, of everything. Check this out, guys. Here we go, Paella Negra. This is so much fun. I mean, I can understand. I understand why you were attracted to this. Probably for you was like a magic trick, right? When your grandmother would be like, "Okay, let me change this paella into black color," and it's incredible. So you could add as much squid ink you prefer. We have a very concentrated, thick, really nice quality squid ink that my friend Filippo gave me.
That makes a big difference.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. It's a really high quality one. So, and I'm gonna taste it for a little salt. I remember you said you were just really excited to eat.
That's the only reason I'm here.
Good. anything to lure you into my kitchen makes me happy, because you're a very special person with so much to learn from you and to just hear your really interesting stories. Did you grow up also like in a big family?
We didn't have a big family. We do have an extended family, but because we were migrating, it was really just my mom and dad, my brother and I for the most part. So we were lucky to have family wherever we landed that helped us out. But the nuclear circle was really parents and brother and
a little bay leaf. I met your mom recently, and she's such a wonderful, beautiful lady, and I can understand why you're the way you are. It always comes from parents, right?
They're incredible.
From where we come from.
They're incredible. If I think about everything my parents went through just to get us out of Cuba, you know, I try to explain my parents' experience to my friend. I said, imagine that somebody drops you off in a foreign country. You don't speak the language. You don't know anybody. You have no connections, and you have to make a living.
You have to figure it out.
You have to figure it out, and then you have 2 kids that you have to figure it out for.
Yeah, I did that by myself.
You know,
I brought my son later, but with the kids it's much harder, of course. But even though that was already tough,
it's incredible.
because you know I came here as a young girl, and you know, just trying to figure this life out like a blind kitten. and I did. You know, I'm actually really happy that I took that risk and was there to do that. And
Here you
maybe
are.
I had some pink glasses on my, you know, face, but that's what brought me to where I am, and I'm very happy that I did that.
So if you think about people like you doing that and my parents doing what they did, I mean, how can I not try to do everything I can all the time, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
I'll never live up to what they accomplished.
So we have our paella here. I'm gonna turn this off and I'm gonna transfer this to the oven, and we're gonna add some clams later, a little bit later. We want this now, as you see, we have some liquid. So now we're not gonna touch it, okay? We're not gonna try to mix and do any of that. We're just gonna put it back in the oven and let it cook through and crisp up on the bottom. I prefer to do this on the grill, but we can't bring our set to the grill. So we are stuck here in the kitchen, and you have to do it with us here in the kitchen. Okay, yeah, please open.
This one?
Yeah, see, I like that I have help here. I never do normally. So perfect. Thank you. All right, while this is cooking, we could keep talking. So have you been back to Cuba?
I have not.
It's an interesting place. It's a crazy place, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think about going back a lot, but I'm conflicted emotionally about it.
Why?
Bring your show down. It's a lot of poverty, I think, you know, and it's, I think I would probably feel a little bit of survivor's guilt going back and being the rich American, and my people are still sort of prisoners under the system. Yeah.
I understand all this contradiction inside yourself, right? When you go and see that, it's tough, but it's political.
It's all political, yeah.
Politics that it's a government's responsibility to fix that for their people, not yours.
I get it, you know, and I've gone to other places that also have hardship, and I don't feel as emotionally connected, so maybe I don't experience it the same. But I think there it would probably be
tough.
For me, maybe, you know, I just haven't. I thought about it. I did a movie once that was shot half in Paris and half in Havana.
Wow.
And I produced it, and it was great, you know, but I didn't go to the filming part in Cuba.
Okay.
I sent other people.
Yeah, you felt you didn't want to.
I'm conflicted, you know.
Yeah,
parts of me wants to go,
understand.
and you know, the sort of the history and the connection, and another part of me feels like going might be supporting something I don't support, you know.
And how many movies have you done?
I don't know. A lot.
I need a list of them, because this one blew me away completely.
No, but this one's special. This one's special. Not all of them are special. They're all good. Some are fun. Some are bad. But this one, I think, you know, it was an opportunity that you don't get often to talk about somebody.
Not.
So.
And we will post the link to that movie. Please, please, please watch this movie. It's life-changing, and it's just so beautifully done. And that lady is just one incredible human being with such a powerful heart and mind that you can rarely meet these days. So it's something that will inspire you for good and change you.
Amen.
Thank you for doing this movie. It's a treasure for the world.
It was a group of good people that made it. So thank you to all the people who made it with me, and
Yes, of course.
It's exciting when you get to do stuff with good people thinking, you know.
This is what I have. I have here good people behind the scene, right? That are helping me to make my dream come true. I have always wanted to have a show, a cooking show, but this format is actually much better than I could have ever imagined. To have someone so intelligent, special, someone with such a rich background, and we could just chat and cook together. There could be nothing better than that. So I'm very, very grateful to you guys behind the scene there. Thank you.
I thought you were talking about your producers. They're amazing.
all of them. All of them.
Yeah, it's a great crew here. It's amazing that you do this for us, because I imagine the other guests feel the same. This is a treat for us, you know?
Oh, thank you. That makes me very, very happy. So, on that note, if you hosted a dream dinner, who would be at your table?
Dream dinner?
Yeah.
Huh. That's a trick question.
Who are
That's a
your
good
guests?
question. Who are my guests?
You know why I ask you this question?
It's like historical figures. I can pick anybody.
I think the living ones.
Oh,
because if you go
ones.
back to that, I think it's a bit easier. Because we have all these great minds and great people but nowadays it's a bit harder.
It's a bit hard. Living ones, I think then I'm going to be limited to the people I know. I have a super small circle. As you know, I don't do Instagram, Facebook.
I know you don't.
I don't have a million friends.
Man,
I don't have 10,000 friends. I probably have 5 friends. So I'd love to have you and TJ there. That'd be good. You guys are amazing. Probably my friend Jeff, who I think is, you know, he really balances intelligence with spirituality. Dr. Rudy Tanzi, I would like to have there.
Oh, that's a scientist you work with?
Yeah, he's probably the greatest Alzheimer's scientist in the world.
By the way, Agustín also works on Alzheimer's, which is a very interesting thing. And my grandmother passed away from that. Yeah, and I hope you find all the solution for.
I think we're finding some solutions. Yeah.
Oh, I'm excited.
And he's amazing. He's a musician, right? So there's two people
Music
who
and science, why is it
Dr.
always
Tanzi,
connected?
I'm telling you, it's creative. So, a lot of people ask me how you go from movies to science, but the really great scientists I've met never asked me that. Like Dr. Hazeltine, who I'd like to have at a dinner too, he's incredible. He plays with Joe Pesci, he played with Steven Tyler, he's writing books, and then the way he thinks about neurology is incredible.
And for regular people, we don't understand how this is possible, right?
No, I think we're regular people too. I think humility is super important, especially for science. And I don't want to get too deep, but I think the scientists that err is when they think they know everything. Maybe they veer away from the possibility that there was an intelligent design to life. So I think the smarter you get, the more humble you are.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that. I've seen this guy. It's an encouraging message to people that when you get to the level with people that are really high intelligent people, they don't care about anything. They don't care about any decorations that you have. They only care of who you are, and that's it. And this is such a beautiful message that people are getting carried away by decorations and not really seeing deeper.
Yeah, I think
that is very, very important.
So my wife told me something really interesting, which I think it's brilliant. She said that you get a glass when you're born, and you can either fill that glass with ego or knowledge. But whichever one you have more of, there's no room for the other one.
Overpower, yeah.
So if you have a lot of knowledge, there's just no room for ego, I think.
I agree with that. Yeah, the more you learn, the more humble you become. That's why always invest into your brain, fill up your head, because this is something that can never be taken away from you.
And you got to eat good. We know in Alzheimer's research and neurodegenerative research that what you eat is very important for cognitive decline.
Particular things that are linked that we should not be eating?
Yeah, there are.
We want to know.
Yeah, you do want to know. I mean, I think...
I'm going to grab one little pen while you're saying that. Okay.
I don't want to give medical advice. I'm not an MD.
Doesn't matter.
But I think what we do know for sure is that healthy fats are very important. Keeping your metabolism regulated. Omega-3 specifically, vitamin D. I mean, I try to stay away from refined sugars and processed foods. So That's not medical advice, but if you want to research that, I think other doctors will tell you that you shouldn't be eating that stuff. And do a lot of what you're doing now. This seafood, these healthy fats, this avocado fat you're using. You know, not only, and this is why what you're doing is so important. So not only what you eat is important, but how you take it in, how you interact, the whole social interaction and staying. This whole ritual, right? This is a ritual.
It's a happy way of eating ritual. It is, absolutely, yeah.
And it keeps you engaged. So, I mean, I would say probably stay away from the processed foods. I think for all the controversy that maybe is happening now with the new nominee for, you know,
JRK.
I think he's right to not eat a bunch of artificial stuff and preservatives.
Yeah. I think at this time and age, I'm really surprised that people don't get it yet. I mean, it's so clear. It's very simple. Just eat whole foods that are grown or caught, or just whole foods. Stop buying things in the packaging. You know, this is the longer the shelf life, the shorter is yours. So make a choice, make a better choice. And when people start giving me excuses, it's hard and blah, 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 you're just lazy. And let's just face it. And I'm okay with actually, you know, admitting to my flaws. If I'm lazy about something, I know it, but I'm not gonna pretend, you know.
Yeah,
that's okay.
I mean, maybe it is hard, but it's harder to be sick, you know.
Exactly. So I heated up this pan because we want I actually asked Agustín about it, how his grandmother liked to do this. So he told me that she liked to cook the tentacles, like fry them quickly with some garlic.
Yes.
And this is what I'm gonna do, and that's how we're gonna serve it on top of paella. Okay. So the point of all this food, all the seafood, is gonna go on top later. It's not gonna. You cannot cook it together. It's gonna be all rubber, right? So here we go. We're just gonna throw this in with some garlic, and hopefully it's gonna be close to your grandmother's dish.
It won't be as good. It might be better, but
no, it cannot be as good as hers, because first of all,
I remember that with my heart, not with my palate.
You remember that with your heart, and also getting that local, all this seafood that is right there, freshly caught. You know, it's a different story.
Maybe you'll capture it.
We'll try my best. And we're gonna do some garlic here. It looks so pretty. Wow, this changes the whole thing, the whole vibe of the dish. So, going back to your dinner list of guests.
Dinner list. So I said Dr. Tanzi, because he's just cool. He'll probably play the piano, the guitar. You guys definitely have to be there. I'd probably invite Dr. Hazeltine, because he's just the coolest guy I know.
I would like This
guy is amazing. Did you meet? You met him the other night. You met him. He was there when you met my mom. He was there.
Oh, he was with that lady.
Yeah, with his wife. Yeah.
Okay, so
he's amazing. He's like Time Magazine's like #1 scientist in the world.
Oh my God! So let's make this happen. Let's have them here. You know where to bring them, so it's easy.
And then I'd probably invite John Travolta, just because I love him so much. No, it's true.
Why I asked you this question, I don't know why I remember today. William
Levy?
No, William Hearst.
Oh, Hearst. I don't know him.
You know of him.
Of course I do.
He has the San Simeon Castle in San Diego.
Yeah.
And he was a very interesting guy. So he had a long table in his room where he was doing dinners at the time of Greta Garbo, Charlie Chaplin. That was the times of his lifetime. And the table, the closer the seat is to him, the more interesting and funnier the person is. And for the next invitation, when you get your invitation,
you get closer.
Seated in the end, it's called the hot seat. You are there for exit. Next time you might not be invited.
Got it. You're close to being kicked out.
But I like that. I was like, wow, the guy had guts. He was an interesting guy, and also he was the type of a man who supported women so much at that time that women were not allowed to play billiards and this and that. So he was supporting to actually beat the man. I like that. I like him for that as well. So very interesting person. So Yeah, let's make this dinner happen. We could do that here. You know that. Let me
This looks good. Can I eat one of?
try. Yeah, but I think I didn't crisp them enough.
Am I allowed to like?
Yeah, of course.
I wasn't allowed when I was a kid. I don't know.
No, not your grandmother.
Slap me around.
I'm gonna get our. Is it good or it's a little? I think I didn't crisp up enough.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
So good.
Makes me happy. So, of course, it takes longer to make the paella. So I made it already. So I don't understand, is it burnt or is it black?
Well, I think that the crispy part at the bottom is like the best part.
Yeah.
You fight for that part.
So we're gonna put this garlic on top. And we're gonna put, I have to move this a little. We're gonna put this, I'm sorry. Let's turn this off. And then we're gonna put this calamari. So we have clams. The time is running, guys, but you could also add some calamari and send it back to the oven. So we're gonna put, okay, the oven is going crazy, okay. And then what I like also that we could add some lemon zest, which is super fun. I think that is gonna brighten up the flavor, right? What do you think?
I'm ready to eat it. I'm not even thinking anymore. I'm a lizard brain.
You
right
are
now.
just starving. So here's our lemon zest and some parsley. And we could have a bite. This is paella for two, for you and me.
Perfect.
And some of this parsley. I always like herbs so much. They are very important to me. Like your grandmother's paella, my grandmother taught me how to eat every herb on this planet Earth. So before we taste this and say goodbye to our viewers, what is your next journey? Since you've done so many journeys, what's next for you?
I think it's one journey.
I like that.
I think it's one journey. And
I get it.
I was sitting with Hazeltine the other night, and I said, you know, I'm in Vienna now, and I'm living over there. And I said, man, you know, I'm born in Cuba. I never thought I'd end up in Vienna. And he said, Agustin, you haven't ended up anywhere. There's no end.
Oh, I
He
like
says,
that.
I'm 80. I haven't ended up anywhere.
I like that. This is a beautiful,
Always going.
beautiful quote that it's not the destination, it's the route, right? It's the path, it's the journey. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, and what I'm working on is trying to make that longer, giving us more time, more healthy time. We didn't talk about it, but I'll let you know at that dinner. We have some really amazing breakthroughs in.
You wanna mention
No,
anything?
we can talk about it later. But I think.
For our viewers, I would not mind.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of hype around, you know, healthier living for longer, and I think 150 years is very doable.
Are you serious?
Very realistic,
Wow.
yeah. I think we're already at about.
Am I gonna outlive my great grandmother? She lived till 106.
Yeah, I think you will. I think you will. I mean, what the breakthroughs that we're having now, I mean, some people want to live forever. I don't know. We can't do that.
We don't want to live forever, but we don't. You know what I want? I want to live. When I'm older, I want to live
You want
quality.
to be healthy and
quality, yeah, quality life in terms of my health. If I'm not healthy, it doesn't matter.
So after this show, Google Klotho, Klotho. Google that. It's a protein that we have when we're young. That's what we're working on. I think we've really figured out how to keep it at the optimal level. And really seriously and realistically, I think 150 is doable, healthy 150. Beyond that, I mean, God decides everything. But I think genetically we can be geared to get a really good, healthy.
That's
150.
absolutely fascinating and incredible. Cheers to that.
To you, thank you for inviting me.
Like Dan Buettner taught me Aquentanos, which is till 100, but we need to learn another way to say, maybe in Spanish, till 150.
We just say salud.
Salud, okay?
Hasta
Salud.
150, that's right. Instead of 80 años, 150.
150.
There
And
you go.
let's take a bite and tell me how did we do here.
Can
with
I only
our
take
pot-
one bite, or am I allowed to eat as much as I want?
You can eat as much as you want, but we have to take one bite now.
Okay.
All right. You want to
I'm
feed
in.
you? All right. Augustine approved. I mean, approved.
Grandma approved.
I'm not even gonna go there with
Oh
grandma.
wow, that's
'cause-
perfect. That's really
Yay!
great.
So we did it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and
Okay.
make sure to come back next Thursday, because every single Thursday I have a special guest for you. This February is filled with beautiful, fascinating people, and I can't wait for you to see them and to experience them. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that was awesome. This is great. Vaccine? Yeah. It could hurt you, yeah? It could hurt you. It could hurt you a lot. It's very bad. Ivermectin won't help you with that. Ivermectin is an antiviral. So it kills viruses. It's been used with the spike protein. I mean, the idea, some people think that if you take it, it can help you clear the spike protein. No, everything is dosage. So you start taking a bunch of ivermectin, it could also be bad. I mean, have you tested yourself for qPCR on the, do you have spike protein present? Do you know? How do you have any, do you have symptoms or anything? Joint pain, inflammation? Yeah, it's probably vaccine derived. I mean, you could take ivermectin, but I think you just wanted your body to pull it out. I don't want to scare you. It's really bad for me. I really hate it. I had a big fight with it. I had a big fight with it. It's really not. It's not a vaccine, first of all. And then it's inducing your body to produce a viral protein, which you don't want your body to do. So the big risk is it reverse transfected into your nucleus, and you're still producing spike protein. But generally, it should get a wash. When's the last time you took a vaccine?
Знаешь, как это бабушка с дедушкой, как это?
Criminal.
Помнишь, рыбак?
No, they're horrible. I've had friends pass away too. Yeah, for
А
sure.
ну-ка, Сэм, хочешь попробовать?
Yeah, I think you're right. Sorry.
Да, excuse me, такая деловая. Какой вопрос?
I think, yeah, you can take ivermectin.
Это супер, да.
No, yeah, you can get it from a doctor, but yeah, that's the thing, is you want the dose to be correct. Ivermectin has been used a lot in malaria. It's a super safe antiviral, but it's still an antiviral. I think you can take it, a course of
Хорошо, когда, знаешь, ты в процессе ты должен столько всего делать, я могу
the thing they would give for malaria is the dose and see if it helps you. But if you're having
Классный, да,
long-term
он?
inflammation, it's no longer the
Тоже.
spike protein. What happens
Наш
is,
гость.
this might be less
Наш гость
simple than what I said before, but
When
when a cell is infected with a virus, it becomes an infected cell that dies. And that's giving out viral proteins to infect other cells. You get that? So the immune system shows up and says, I need to kill the infected cells. So that they no longer propagate the virus. And any cell that's infected, it kills them, leaving the healthy cells alone. Does that make sense? With this vaccine, they send messenger ribonucleic acid to your healthy cells. So your healthy cells are making a viral protein. Right. So when the immune system shows up and goes, wow, this spike protein, we gotta get it out of here, and we gotta kill the cells that are making this protein. There are no infected cells. They're all healthy. So they're attacking your own cells. So really long COVID, what they call long COVID, is an immunomodulation to the immune system attacking your cells. You're attacking your own healthy cells.
There is
And
what
that's
with
creating
COVID you said
systemic
about that?
inflammation. And that's why you're getting the joint pain. You see? So what you want to do is tamp down that immune system. And you could take ivermectin, but if it has reverse transfected, ivermectin will kill the spike protein potentially in your bloodstream, but it won't kill it in the nucleus. You see what I mean? It won't get into the cell.
Augustine, I hear a lot that parasites could be the reason for like cancer and all that. Is that true?
Well, cancer is the immune system losing the ability to kill cells that are
Right.